Hey everybody, T-Man again, bringing you guys another video. This one will be doing my Monday Night Raw review, the night after WrestleMania. And here we are, now I'm shooting this video on a Thursday, so I'm about 3 days late, pumping out this video to you guys. Apologize for that, but here I am, bringing you guys an in-depth view. And let me tell you something, guys, this is refreshing. It is really refreshing to come on here and do a review without bashing WWE. I mean, finally, we got a good Raw. I mean, Raw has been unwatchable for weeks now. And there's times where I don't even do a Raw review because it's so bad. It takes me the whole week to watch. Here, I watched it all. I fell asleep at the very end, and not because of boredom. I was just really tired at the very end. But I watched the whole thing through right there on a Monday night, being entertained. And it was really nice for a change to be entertained and excited to watch Raw. And every Raw after WrestleMania seems to be really, really good. So do I say, is this going to be a change? Is every Raw from this point on going to be good now? Are we going to start seeing exciting television? No. Sadly, no. Because every Raw after WrestleMania is always good. But we always, you know, we lie to ourselves, like, oh man, this is great. Now we're cooking. You know, now we're starting to get good. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think next week might be pretty more decent. But I think as each week goes, we're going to get right back to where we were before WrestleMania. Just very, very hard to watch. And I think the reason of that is because the writing team hasn't changed. The writing team is still the same, guys. The whole regime, everything is still the same. They're just carrying off the momentum of WrestleMania. Like, WrestleMania was really, really good. I knew it was because it was going to be a really good show. Now, I did not think it was going to be good as it turned out to be. I mean, it turned out to be a really great WrestleMania. I didn't think it was going to be that great. I thought it was just going to be good and watchable. But I didn't think it was going to be as great as WrestleMania turned out to be. But I do think they're going to go back and continue the show bad television, but at least for one night. I mean, everything they did in that show, just repeat that formula. I mean, I'm not just talking about the promos and the storylines. I'm talking about the in-ring work. My God, they tore the roof down with that in-ring work. I mean, if Vince let those guys do that type of matches and have those guys bring their A-game on every single Raw, oh my gosh, Raw will be really, really cool to watch. And I think I don't think too many people will be complaining about bad TV, bad whatever. You know, if you have a bad writing team, it's okay. It's okay because you're going to have great in-ring work. And vice versa. If you don't have good in-ring work, you have to have a good writing team. Right now, you have great in-ring talent. You have some of the best professional wrestlers. But you don't let them do their thing. And on a Monday Night Raw this past week, they let them do their thing. So that was really, really refreshing to watch. So, again, sorry about the late review. I did not pump it in because it took me all week to watch like I usually do. I've just been very busy lately. And this is kind of the soonest time right now I have to pump out this video. So, okay, I have the results here on my phone. Let me go ahead and we start off Raw with a segment, a really cool promo segment from Brock Lesnar in his ring gear, got the gloves, bare shirt, no shirt, all muscle, in his ring gear, ready to wrestle with Paul Heyman, saying that Brock Lesnar wants to revoke his rematch clause for tonight. Stephanie McMahon comes out, said that Seth Rollins is not here right now, but he will be, and he's a fighting champion, and I'm sure he will accept the challenge tonight. And I will get to that when we I will get to that part, what they did with Brock Lesnar later, and I loved it. This was the and that's another reason why I think a Raw was so good, was because of Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar really, man, he made Raw intense this past week. Anyways, we move on to an Intercontinental title match. Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler having a hellacious match, a great match, and it was really, really, really cool to see. we saw a return that we knew we were going to see. They've been doing the vignettes for a long time, and since he didn't return on WrestleMania, we kind of figured he was going to return the Raw after Mania, and that I'm talking about Sheamus. And it looked like Sheamus was going to come out and help the baby faces because Bad News Barrett was in there. Oh, by the way, Daniel Bryan won clean over Dolph Ziggler in a great match. I'm going to get into it. It was perfect match. I commend WWE. Great wrestling, great whatever, and I loved the return of Sheamus. How he looked. He had this big red mohawk, he had a braided beard, and he looked like a badass. Sheamus was a guy that needed to get reinvented, even if it's slightly. I would have liked to see them change his entrance music a little bit, because I think this should be a new beginning for Sheamus. I never really cared for Sheamus as a babyface. I thought he was always more marketable as a heel, so I'm really glad they're going that route. It seems like they're still not abandoning their hopes for Daniel Bryan Sheamus. They just really want that, man. I mean, they've been pushing it for Mania for so long, but I guess they'll have to make do with Extreme Rules. Yeah, I mean, they really want Sheamus and Daniel Bryan to go at it. But anyways, I love it. He's a really good heel. I would say he's even a title run heel type of character. I would never give him the WWE title again as a babyface. To me, it just doesn't work. As much as Triple H and Vince was trying to push that, to me, it doesn't work. Sheamus is not a good babyface, but I loved him as a heel. He looked badass with the mohawk. In my opinion, my wife hated it, thought he looked ridiculous. I loved it. You had to reinvent him. So I thought that was really cool. We move on to Cesaro, Tyson Kidd, and the Ascension versus the New Day and the Lucha Dragons. Let me tell you about this. Was an exciting match. As a wrestling fan, I was jumping up and down. This was a really cool match. If you guys did not watch Raw and you guys just checked the results, if you're a fan of great, if you want to be entertained by a good wrestling match, check out this match from Monday Night Raw. These fucking Lucha Dragons. Now, I knew they were great. I mean, I watched NXT. I know how good they were. But, man, with them and the New Day, man, they really... Fuck, man. They really brought it. And let me tell you, Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, the Ascensions, whatever, but man, those guys really tore the roof down and probably maybe had one of the best matches of the night. Absolutely amazing. Man, the Lucha Dragons, I'm expecting big things from them. It was kind of funny to see the whole crowd go, Lucha, Lucha, Lucha. Just reminds me of Lucha Underground, so anyways, great match. They should be very, very proud of that. After that, we get Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Not just kidding. Brock comes out, Paul Heyman. Here comes Seth Rollins. Lillian Garcia makes the intros. It looks like we're going to do it. It looks like and I knew damn well we were going to have it. Especially now, at this point, now we're like an hour into Raw. So I knew damn well we weren't going to see a title match. Brock Lesnar, first time on Raw, they were promoting in 10 years. I knew we weren't going to see it. Seth Rollins says he's going to give him the title shot, but just not here tonight. He's not quite ready for that. And he bailed out of the ring. Brock Lesnar loses his shit, and I loved how they booked that, because everybody knows Brock Lesnar's going on his hiatus, so you have to figure out a way to write him off of TV, and they did a great job this time writing him off of TV. I mean, during this title run, it was just horrible. I just don't feel like defending my title for about 3 months. But here, they did a great job, with the suspension, indefinite suspension. They used that a lot. But he caused havoc. First, he F5s J&J's security, beats the holy fuck out of them, grabs pushes over the announce table, knocking out Booker T and JB out, grabbing Michael Cole, throwing him in the ring, and did an F5 on poor Michael Cole. He took a brutal F5, man. And then he grabbed the the cameraman and beat the living shit out of him a little bit. I think he F5'd him a couple times as well. And Stephanie McMahon coming out and giving him the indefinite suspension. Brock Lesnar absolutely losing his shit. Even what's his name, Paul Heyman, was really against not against Brock, but telling Brock, please don't do it. The only crazy thing about that I thought was funny, it has nothing to do with Brock, was the rest of the Raw broadcast. You had what's his name, Brian Saxton, that one dude that looks like a cheap weatherman. You had him come out, and then eventually later, a couple matches later, you had Jerry the King Lawler that come out, and it was those two finishing off Raw. But I thought that was really lame how they did not have JBL and Booker T continue it. You telling me a push of a table that knocks them over takes them out of Raw? I mean, these guys were wrestlers. And not to mention, Booker T could still do matches here and there. I mean, that was retarded. You're telling me a push of a table will take those two guys out of commentating for the whole night? I don't think so. That was retarded. I could see, obviously, not having Michael Cole back for the rest of the night, obviously. Because he just took a fucking F5 from Brock Lesnar. But, yeah, that was retarded. That was just fucking stupid. Having those two announced guys out like that. Stardust versus Damien Mizdow, having Damien Mizdow win, and then afterwards the Miz beating the holy fuck and doing the skull crushing finale on Mizdow. Obviously, we're gonna see Miz versus Mizdow at Extreme Rules. The fuck? Somebody at my door? I don't give a shit. Anyways, Curtis Axel Mania versus Adrian Neville. Loved Adrian Neville on his debut match. I thought Curtis Axel was the perfect opponent to display Adrian Neville's skill, and boy, he was just amazing. Adrian Neville and his high-flying skill was absolutely great. Great to see him on the main roster. Great to see, that's how they should book him as. It's just an in-ring worker. Don't put a crazy gimmick. I heard that they wanted to give him an Alf gimmick, and he kind of did look like a little Alf thing, but not full-blown. Because he does. Adrian Neville does kind of look like an Alf. So, there you go. There we had John Cena, Jesus Christ, against Dean Ambrose for the United States title. John Cena giving an open United States title match. Invitation, and everyone thought it was going to be Rusev, and I thought it was smart not having Rusev do the open challenge and having Dean Ambrose, and those two guys, I talk about the Lucha Dragons still in the night. They had just an equally of a great match, a great wrestling match, with John Cena obviously retaining his title. Let me see. Then we move on from AJ, Paige, and Naomi versus the Bella Twins and Natalia. And the winners is AJ, Paige, and Naomi. And you know what? Because of the give Divas hashtag a chance, or whatever the fuck that phrase was, the Divas matches are a lot longer. This actually went like a couple segments. So obviously, he's a little afraid of that. And then you had Goldust versus Rusev, and I thought that was smart having Rusev come out and squashing Goldust, because what I'm afraid of Rusev is, I think Rusev is so marketable. I would even say Rusev could even be a future world champion if they play the cards right. But what they do with so many guys like Rusev, I would categorize Rusev as like the Umagas and Great Khali's and all these great gimmicky kind of national from different country wrestlers that they come in and they push real hard, and then after, like with Rusev, no longer undefeated, after a few months, I could see them just not knowing what to do with him, and him kind of becoming like a Ryback, just getting lost in the shuffle. I hope that doesn't happen with Rusev, because I think by the end of, if not before, I would say probably by the end of SummerSlam, I would think Rusev will lose a lot of momentum. So I'm hoping, just because he doesn't lose the undefeated streak, I hope they continue to push him in the right direction. And I'm hoping, like, next year this time, he's not like just somebody that they just forget about. So because this guy could be a world champion one day and could be a great heel with that. So anyways, he did that, and then we move on. You know, we had earlier in the night Randy Orton talking to Seth Rollins and Stephanie, and pretty much saying that was only be a 6-man tag. Rich guys saying that Randy Orton is a lone wolf, doesn't have anybody. Ryback says he'll be a partner, and obviously we knew we were going to see Roman Reigns. Obviously he was going to join them. We haven't seen Roman Reigns all night, and that's what happened. We had Ryback, Orton, and Reigns win the match, and that was a good match. And then afterwards, you know, I think we're not going to see a one-on-one match. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw like a triple threat with Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, and Randy Orton. You know, there's a lot of ways they can do this. They could even, for an Extreme Rules, I wouldn't even be surprised if they brought in the Elimination Chamber and just throwing 6 guys like a Ryback, maybe the Big Show, and, you know, kind of making it like a 6-6 kind of Elimination Chamber, like kind of like how it was in the tag match, but instead having an Elimination Chamber. I could kind of see something like that. I could see they could still go the route of triple threat of Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. There's a lot of different ways they can do that. Let's see, the way they had a Ryback standing alone in the ring at one point leads me to believe maybe we'll go to the Elimination Chamber route. But either way, great Monday Night Raw. It was great being entertained for a change. The matches were absolutely incredible, and I wish WWE, Vince McMahon, and the writing team will allow those guys to go out there and give them enough time and let them have those matches all the time like they did tonight. Not to mention the crowd was really just hot into it too. So all in all, great Monday Night Raw. It's really refreshing to give a good review. If you want me to rate it a 5-star thing, I think I would give it 4.5 stars out of 5. Most Raws, I think I would give it about 2 stars. Last night, considering how the storylines are and everything, I think they knocked it out of the park, and I think one of the biggest reasons of that was how Brock Lesnar just lost his shit. And I think we're going to lose a lot of that, because I think we're going to go back to our old ways of shitty Raws, because Brock Lesnar, I'm not going to be there, obviously. And the storylines is not that good. I'm hoping they saw the success they had last night. Hopefully they think it's not just because it's the night after WrestleMania, because they know everybody tunes in the night after WrestleMania, but they actually put on a great show for the fans. They should be very proud of themselves for that. Anyways, guys, I'll conclude this video. I'll see you for the next one. Take care, guys.